gentlemen, welcome back to a podcast that has transformed itself time and time again, and it is happening again today. This is for hashtag I'm with Bozo. I am not a bozo, but I am your host today. I am the electric one, and today I have a man that has been running this podcast for at least 2 years now.
Well,
2 years.
two
And
seasons.
he is, I guess he's not necessarily our leader since the Bozo is our leader, but that is all I have to say because this man is Mr. Grant Fussell. Grant, how you doing, buddy?
Ely, I'm doing great, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, and thank you for having me back because if you recall from last year, I was sitting in the same exact seat interviewing you.
See,
But
were
now it's a little bit different because now I have a piece of the pie, so to say.
got some
It's
chips on
because
the
I
table.
am I am a member in this league, and I was already interviewed this year. Actually, I wasn't interviewed. Electric Ely was interviewed,
Bingo.
but now the roles are flipped. So now you're in the hot seat. How does that feel to be in the hot seat?
You know, I always look forward to it because obviously I get to meet everybody normally every week. This year's been a little hard with everybody's schedules and everything, but I always like being on this side because it allows me to think about what I have to, or like what I ask everybody to think about for their week. It puts me in the same seat of having to like look at my draft and what I was thinking at the draft and what I was thinking during this matchup and what do I think about the trade. So I love it. I appreciate you obviously doing this for me. I don't know who else would. Uh, but yeah, man, we're looking forward to a good little segment here. I got some hot soup.
Hot
Not really,
soup.
but you know, bringing some bringing some heat. I'm excited. Got a good lock of the week, I think. Little surprise maybe in the top six. I know there's only a few weeks left, but
Little
I'm
teaser.
excited, man.
Little
Yeah, looking
teaser
forward
there.
to it. Looking forward to it.
Well, before we get into the whole fantasy football portion where everybody comes to hear about Duncan, Corey, on and on, first got to talk about your life since you're always so concentrated on asking other people about their lives, their wives, their
Oh
dogs,
yeah.
their what they got going on. You have a lot going on or a lot coming up, so that means you do have a lot going on because I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You are officially getting married to the love of your life, Danielle. So tell me
Yes,
a
I
little bit about
am.
that. Tell me a little bit about your engagement. Tell me, like, obviously, like, didn't you guys like know each other when you guys were younger, right?
Yeah,
So
I grew
like,
up with her older brother. Yep.
yeah. So like, go in and just like expand on like how you guys originally got together, and then what made you just decide she's the one.
So back in the day, um, like right when I had graduated, or a couple years after I graduated, a buddy of mine was hanging out with a friend of hers. So we were kind of just like there, like, hey, I know you and you know me, and we can just kind of like hang out while our friends hang out and like whatever. And what we saw a shooting star together. It was like fucking 17 years ago, it feels like. And it's just funny. I always thought about like trying to get to hook up with her and date her and blah blah blah, and it never was a thing. And then it just so happened that, paths crossed again. Basically, I probably hit her up on Instagram, DM, fire emojis, probably like 40
Slide
times.
in, baby. Slide
Oh,
it
dude,
in.
that's all it was. And I mean, it was persistence. I mean, it took a while. We talked a lot. Um, and one thing led to another. We hung out a few times. A month or two goes by, and next thing you know, we're moving down, or we're driving down to Oklahoma to go pick up a dog together. A couple months into dating, so it was cool because we kind of got to skip the whole like having to meet you and like know like when you start dating someone, it's like, oh, like what's your favorite color? What do you like? What's your favorite animal? Are you lactose intolerant? Like, do you hate it when I snore? Like that kind
Yeah,
of
like
stuff. Like,
pet peeves and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of already knew like, who we were and stuff. So it was like once we started hanging out, it was kind of just like it fit, and life wouldn't be the same without her, and I know it won't be, and I couldn't see myself doing it with out her, that's how I kind of knew she was the one. But funny you should bring up the engagement. Today, actually, we just put the final payment down on the venue, so that's a good score. One for the good guys here. It's a big day. But yeah, I mean, it's going well. We got basically everything in order for the most part. I gotta go get fitted and do my suit stuff is basically where I'm at next.
I still gotta do that. So I'm 3 weeks before you, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So when because now I'm remembering, because like when you were reminiscing about like how you know Danielle and how you guys like skipped that like so different phases that a lot of couples like you have to dreadfully go through to figure out if they are the one or not. When I met her in Columbus when I came to watch you guys, were you guys dating? Because I hung out with her pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
Were you guys officially dating?
That was very fresh in our relationship, but yeah, we were dating then. That was probably like the first thing we really did together. It was like right after, I think that was in like July, end of July or something, or August, something like that. And we had, I think, just started dating like right around like 4th of July, like right after that. So yeah, that trip that you came down, yeah, that was very fresh in our relationship. Very fresh.
Yeah. That was when like the Twisted Tea, like all that, like
I got a pretty iconic
that's her
picture from that
nickname.
night.
Yeah. That's the nickname I gave her when I met her that weekend, because I mean, you guys were playing softball. She was drinking Twisted Teas and I was drinking whatever I get my hands on that day. But yeah, but that was fun. And like those are one of those things where it's like you're nervous bringing like a new girl around like all your boys, especially I know how the softball people are and how creepy some guys can be and stuff like that. So it's like, to you to bring her around, like I think I told her that day. I was just like, this is a big deal that you're here, right? And she's like, what do like, what do you mean? Like, blushing, like she ever did. And I was just like, if you bring a girl to softball, everyone sees you, like, so like guys and girls see her. So so it was a big deal. But obviously look at you guys now. You guys wore Twisted Tea onesies to Easy's Christmas party last year, and that was
might be a repeat this year. Who knows?
Yeah, that was an epic entrance. I think you guys showed up late, like when we were playing Flip Cup. I remember being across the table from you guys when you guys were wearing those onesies.
That was fun, man. I'm excited for this year's. Should be fun.
Yeah, it's coming up here in 9 days.
Oh yeah.
But besides Danielle, I mean, if we're talking about the family, we got to bring up the dogs. How the dogs going? He sent me a Snapchat earlier today about.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's doing good. They're both doing good. One of them had a little pee scare a couple months ago. Something was wrong with their bladder for a minute, but got them on some antibiotics and it got taken care of. So they're doing good. Just put up a big privacy fence around the backyard so that they don't get to bark as much or see anything as much anymore.
Did you put it up, or did you hire somebody to put it up?
So me and Danielle and her mom and our friend, shout out to Jordan Buter. If you ever see this, shout out, thank you for helping us with the fence.
That's not easy, and that's like, it's not easy and it's not cheap.
So surprisingly, it's
a lot cheaper than if you were to hire somebody.
And we didn't obviously do it like cementing a actual fence in. We just bought the panels. So we bought like 26 6x8 panels, and we kind of just took some U joints and just wing.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad. I mean, so basically it was kind of a process. We had to like stain it, let it dry, and then we would hang it. So it was kind of like a thing. We would kind of do it together on both parts. It was actually went pretty smooth for the most part.
That's cool. That's a nice little bonding thing, because like for Megan and I, when we first moved in, I mean, we still do stuff, but like we had to put so much stuff together, and it's like I would get so frustrated and angry with her just because like our patience levels are different, right? And like, but like that built us stronger as a couple, because I was like, if we got through that together, like. Like, because I would never imagine myself putting, like, it was a bed, like a huge Murphy bed, was what we call it, where it's in the wall. I think you heard about that. And it was just like, I would never in a million years even attempt to even put that together, even with a friend, like my dad. Like, I did it with her, and we got through it all. So that's huge. Like, a fence is like, it's like what they call them tent poles. It's like one of those things that like raises the relationship up.
Yep.
and keeps
It
it
was
up.
good. Yeah, and we had a nice sense of accomplishment when it was done. It kind of felt like we were in like a stadium when we were in our backyard. Kind of just like felt like enclosed. It was pretty tight. It's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, yeah. We'll move on. So I know you are known, at least you're known for me on the Snapchat world, as Dr. Chapinski.
Strikes
First,
again, baby.
first, I gotta ask: is it worth buying the new game?
1,000,000%. Yes.
Because
Yep.
it has like 1.5 out of 5 stars.
I mean, I think it's better. The ball flight is better. The rolls or lack thereof rolls that you
More
get depending on the
realistic.
spin. It's way more realistic. It seems like everything's just more realistic. I mean, it is a lot of the same stuff, but
Just so you guys know,
like
we're talking
this,
about the new golf game on
yeah,
on
PGA
Xbox and PlayStation.
2K23. Yeah. Definitely, yeah, I would get it for sure.
Because like it's cool that because I was talking to my buddy Joe and he plays the old game. He's like, "You're gonna buy the new one?" And I was just like, "If I'm gonna buy it, I'm buying the $120 like the Michael Jordan one, just because like I want to get all the extra stuff." And it's like if I play,
Yeah.
it's cool that you can play as pros too now. So
Yep.
it's like if my buddy comes
you
over
have
and my creative guy is like so much like is better, they can like I can use Ricky Fowler and they can use
Yeah.
whoever.
Steph
So
Curry if they want, whatever. It's
yeah.
sweet. And in the career mode, when you're playing, you get to like play against rivalries. So it's like you like have a rivalry with certain people going up into that week. You're talking crap on social media, blah blah blah. It's pretty
That's
sweet.
cool.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty cool.
cool. Yeah, so I'm
It's fun.
definitely gonna pick that up. So yeah, so can you just not putt or like what's
So
the deal
I
with
don't have an approach get my second shots. I'm a pretty good putter actually. It's just I don't really ever have to putt that much because
it's your
it
iron
goes
game
first
then?
shot's not on, second shot I'm on the fringe. Third shot's we're Chapinski in it. So I got to get my approach game down a little bit, which in this new game, the 23, you can like pick different styles of balls to use. And some have
Mhm.
like more
Less
roll, have
spin.
some have
Yep.
yeah, so you can kind of dictate that, which is cool. So I've been kind of tweaking that to where like my shots I don't have to they roll more, where I don't have to use a higher club to where when I'm fast and slow, I'm like, oh, missing the green. Because that's what happens. I'm pin seeking. And when I miss, I'm either fast or I'm slow, so I'm not on. But now when in the new one, I'll give it to the new one too. It's more forgiving with the fast and the slow thing. It doesn't like all the time. It like if you miss it, it still goes, but it's just a little off kilter. So like I've been kind of honing it in to let it shorter, old school approach game, shorten it up a little bit, letting it roll up on. It's starting to work out a little bit in the new one, but we're still working, we're still making our way.
It's cool. It's cool. So before we get into the fantasy football season, because we do have a lot to talk about. Got any travel plans coming up? I mean, obviously you have the wedding, you have a bachelor party. Like
Yeah.
anything else you got in the plans before the wedding? Let's say that before the wedding.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to Houston for the bachelor party in April, and then in January, I'm actually going down to Tampa to see KG in the kitchen.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, we talked about something happened. We talked about doing something, and then we couldn't on a certain weekend. Something happened, and then um we were like, "Hey, what are you guys doing this weekend?" And they were just like, "Oh, like nothing." And we were like, "All right, sweet." We just kind of bought plane. We were like, "All right, well, do you care if we come down?" And they were like, "No." So we bought plane tickets, because they were pretty cheap to go down on a weekend. And then they ended up asking us what weekend it was, and turns out there's some huge like pirate festival down there that weekend. So I guess we're going to like some huge pirate fest, and I guess like
And
Liz's
Pirate Fest, what do you
sisters.
mean? Like people just dress up as pirates?
I don't, dude. I forgot what it's called. I have to look it up.
Because
They invited us to some group thing on Facebook because it's some huge like
isn't like
pirate festival thing.
isn't
But yeah,
pirate like a sexual thing? Like
uh, oh, here
what's
we
that one
go.
site? What's that one site you can go to that's like it's all like
It's called Gasparella's Pirate Festival. It's in Tampa, Florida. Apparently, it's some huge pirate festival. It looks sweet.
dude,
They
that's
said it's sweet, so I mean, should be sweet. A bunch of her family's coming in, and I think some of her friends and stuff. So It should be sweet. I think some of Easy's buddies. Me obviously. I don't know if anybody else is trying to come down. Or KG's buddies. I meant. I think Easy was trying to come down. I don't know though.
He was just down there, but that was for
Yeah,
work.
that was when I think there was a time where they were all Megan and Eric, not you and the other Megan and
Yeah.
Eric, and then Easy and Chelsea, and then me and Danielle were all trying to go down there a few months ago, but something happened. It didn't work out. I don't know if it was a hurricane or whatever it was.
I just looked up pirate on Urban Dictionary. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Would.
No, it's not bad. It's kind of funny. It's the most badass category of humans to ever walk the face of the earth. Pirates don't give a fat shit about anything. Don't
Nope.
listen to any type of authority. Get shit-faced 24/7 off rum and spend their lives kicking ass and sailing around on a giant ass ship. Now I know why
Yep.
Pirate Fest is such a big deal. I'm just gonna be hammered off rum and just
Yep.
not giving a fuck.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too insane. You know how them bucks are down there.
Like, are you gonna wear an eye patch?
I'm definitely dressing up for sure. I'm either gonna wear an eye patch or a peg leg or a hook hand or something.
Yeah,
Hook hand might be a little tough.
Mr. Hook, wasn't that his name from
Captain Hook?
Captain Hook, Mr.
El
Hook.
Capitan, Mr. Hook.
Feels so much I know. That's cool shit, man. That's cool. Anything else besides
Exciting.
Tampa?
No, then Houston for the bachelor party, and then the west side of the state for the wedding, and then, I mean, at some point next year we'll be taking a honeymoon. We don't know where yet. We're thinking about going to Cancun, but I don't know. Just get an all inclusive and go chill for 4 or 5 days.
Way to do it.
Right. Or like take like a Thursday, Friday, Monday off of work and like something like that, and leave like Wednesday night or something.
Take the whole fucking week off, but that's just me. I know.
know.
I know. There's
For me,
bills
it's
to
tough.
pay. I know. I get it, man. Hourly.
Not even in
stuff
that
and-
aspect. It's just like with logistics and freight. It's like that's 7 days of, I guess, yeah, bills to pay, but $0. They just put you behind the 8 ball 7 days. Like it's a lot of cheddar to potentially be missing out on for a whole week. Just because commission, and you never know if those loads are going to be back there again. It's like, oof. But we'll see. I mean, obviously, it'd be worth it, spend a whole week away from civilization with my baby.
Yeah, for me, it's like I think we're gonna go like we're doing like at least a 7 to 10 day, and it's like just being away from our animals for that long is just gonna be brutal for me.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's and her obviously.
Thing. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. But enough of the sad, negative talk about
being away from animals.
Yeah, being away from animals. Yeah. Let's get down to the fantasy football season. Obviously, before we talk about what's going on currently in the fantasy football season, because we are wrapping up the regular season here. I think we have 2 weeks left. Big 2 weeks for a lot of owners. We are in that boat, so we'll talk about that. But first, we got to talk about your keepers. And what was going through your mind when you had your keepers? Because I remember when I was back in the league, man, you kept your defense one year, and like a lot of people made fun of you because you're like, I don't have anyone else to keep.
Like I literally had nothing else. I had nobody else.
Didn't you go on to win the championship that year though?
So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was the year I went from 0 to hero. Maybe not. I think I kept the defense, and then maybe the next year after that. But
what was the draft in Igor's basement right before he moved out? Because that's when you did it, and that's when you won. I swear you won that.
I might have won that. That was the one that
you brought the beer.
Kevin was
you went from last to first, didn't you?
Yeah. That was the one. Yeah. That was the one. Yep.
Yeah.
That's where the whole dynasty started here over at the old SPLASHTASTIC. Yeah, really, that draft is where everything started. So
that went easy for the last 3.
So yeah.
All right. So what was in your mind with keepers? Obviously, you were trying to get back to the promised land after. Did you make the playoffs last year?
So I finished in, I believe, 3rd place last year.
Okay.
So I was technically trying to go for a repeat.
Back to back, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I took 3rd. I believe Eric beat me. Eric Gordon went on his stupid fucking run that went
was
on,
a
being
streak,
the 6th seed. Yeah.
I was following.
Yep. So coming into this year, I had a predicament with my keepers. I'm trying to go. Here we go. So I couldn't keep Dalvin Cook I couldn't keep Dalvin Cook at all again because I had him for 3 years. And then I couldn't keep Kyler Murray and Justin Jefferson because I'm looking at the wrong thing. Because they would have both been my first overall pick.
And you can't have two of them. You can't have
You
two.
can't have that happen.
You can't have 2 first-round picks.
Correct. So then I had to break things down to, what do I value, which I obviously, looking at it in hindsight now, I made the wrong choice because I could have kept Jalen Hurts. And I didn't. I could have kept Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase is what I could have done. But I kept Kyler Murray, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase. So I just had a lot going on with a lot of people.
Yeah, because you took a very long time to give your keepers in.
I always take long because it's always hard for me because lately I've been having such studs on my team that it's been hard for me to pick and I don't know who to pick.
You sound like Kevin Gordon.
I mean, hey, the numbers don't lie. The last 2-3 years I've been in the top. It's been hard, man. I've been trying to set the things up the right way to have the most athletic team that I can out there, and I feel like this year I screwed up.
So your keeper was Jefferson and Chase, you said?
And Murray.
Kyler Murray.
When it could have been Jalen Hurts.
If I was you, what round was Kyler in?
Hold on, he wasn't my keeper because
I
I drafted him. It says he was my keeper on here because I had him as a keeper before, but I'm pretty sure I drafted him this year.
Drafted for $0 with the 19th overall pick.
Yeah.
You drafted him.
I
drafted
him
the second round.
Him. So who did I keep? I kept Jamar Chase. I kept Justin Jefferson. And then I had to keep somebody.
This guy doesn't even know who he kept.
Well, because it's marked wrong on here too. It says I kept Antonio Gibson, Kyler Murray, and Justin Jefferson. But I know I kept Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. And I thought it was Kyler, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
You could have kept him. He would have just been a second round pick because
he doesn't do it that way.
Why?
I don't know. Why is that? Why did something happen here?
All right, but I mean,
yeah, whatever.
You kept 2 stud receivers.
Yeah, I kept 2 stud receivers and had to debate on which quarterback to keep between. Well, the debate was, I think, between Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, and I had to keep one of them.
But you couldn't keep Dalvin Cook, though.
But I couldn't keep Dalvin Cook because him and Jefferson would have both been my first round picks. Yeah, so I let him go, kept Jefferson. And then I was like, all right, let me try to get as many players as I can on the team that just got me, AKA a win 2 years ago and 3rd place last year. How can I do that? All right, well, let me get on the team as quickly as possible.
I mean, you have 2 probably top 5 receivers in the league. I think Justin Jefferson's number 1 and Chase is probably in the top 5.
So then I was like, so then leading right into the draft strategy was, okay, let's gamble a little bit at running backs like I always do every year because I have 2 of the best wide receivers. And then at that point, I was like, I can get Kyler Murray, I think, because somebody's going to take Cook in the front. So it's like, okay, I have a later, I mean, I didn't have.
That was me.
I had a middle pick, so like I could have taken Jalen Hurts that I had last year, but I wasn't as confident in him as I was in Kyler Murray because of, whatever. But I should have known Kyler fell apart last year at the end of the season. And Jalen did sweet for me the whole year. I don't know, man. I wasn't feeling it. And of course, he got picked 2 picks after I took Kyler. And then he got traded all over the place. And he should have just been a staple in my other flex. And, it is what it is. So,
I mean, I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but like I'm guessing you're going to be keeping Justin Fields next year. So, like that's going to pretty much replace your Jalen Hurts.
So
Or your Kyler
That was my
Murray.
thinking when it played out in the draft. That's what I was going to say. Moving forward in the draft, I was like, okay, sweet. Like, I got first round, second round. I got, studs from last year's team. Jamar Chase in the 5th. Like, I already know I got 2 wideouts. Let me get some running backs in the 3 and 4 pick. J.K. Dobbins, whatever, got hurt. Ended up getting a trade. I ended up trading him that literally at the time it looked like fucking shit. But I mean, I guess DJ Moore did sweet for me a couple times, but I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire has got me goose eggs multiple times. So.
Oh yeah, and he's not even on. He's on the IR, but
I mean, he's on the IR now.
He's not even going to be on the Chiefs next year. So.
Right. So, and then Gibson has been, very hit or miss. He's been, he'll get me 5, and then he'll get me 20, then he'll get me 10, then he'll get me 7, then he'll get me 13, then he'll get me 19. But just kind of chugging along the draft here, I'm like thinking, okay, like I've got some very good value coming into the 5th round now. Like I got basically my whole starting lineup besides one more running back or one more wideout and one more quarterback. Now I was like, all right, let me do what I've been doing the last couple of years and take a value quarterback, which is what I've been doing. I've been taking a good quarterback that's young, that is good, that has a chance to be good in these middle picks. And it's worked out so far this year with Fields, being there. And I was just trying to, through the draft, just put as many people as I thought was going to come across my notification screen as catching touchdown passes from whoever they're catching.
Can I just say, Easy and I say this all the time. We do. Like, he was over my house. We were watching the games, and he's just like, have you got any updates today? I go, no, I think my phone's broken. He goes, neither have I. I go, that's not good.
That means your team's not doing anything.
No. And so he's like, still no updates.
So I kind of get crazy with it, and so on my ESPN app, I set it to the teams where my players are on. So it's like, I'll go through my team right here. It'll be like Minnesota, Arizona, Baltimore, Washington, Cincinnati, Chicago, Tampa Bay, New England, Miami. I'll go into ESPN
all the updates for them.
And because then I'll even get other people that are scoring on their teams and who they're playing against. So then I'll see those teams. So it's like I can kind of see, who's doing good. That all stemmed from baseball.
That's actually a good thing. Like I would actually rather put my opponents of who I'm playing so I know what they're doing and not know what I'm doing. So like the easy way to do it, like Easy doesn't like to look at his phone at all. He doesn't like to look at any scores until like at least the 4 o'clock games before the 4 o'clock games.
As soon as the game starts, I would do it. And I'm like, who's getting the first touchdown? Who's getting the first touchdown?
I'm more like Easy.
Check them in early and often, baby.
I'm more like Easy, where I wait till the last possible second. And I was like, I gotta look to know where I'm at. But I think it'd be cool to know, like, all right, the guy I'm playing is doing all right. It seems like I wouldn't know how many points they would have, but like, okay, his receiver just scored a 3-yard touchdown.
That was what I was doing on Monday.
That's 7, maybe 8 points. And like, I think I'd rather do it that than know exactly what my team is doing, because I get frustrated when.
Yeah, I get scared, man. Sometimes I'm like, God. I'm gonna lose. And then there's other times where I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna win. I'm smoking him. He needs 90 points. He's got 3 guys left. I'm gonna win. I'm like, come on. So we're chugging through the draft here. So
what would you say was your best value picks that you have in your roster still as a value pick to going into next year too? Like, you're looking at a future. Like, you have a lot of young players here.
Jamal Williams so far.
Yeah,
100%.
Jamal. He's probably the steal of everyone's draft in any league that there is. Like, my buddy took him in early. I'm in, and I laughed when he took him. I was like, "You're just taking it because he's a Lion." Like, he's like, but now he might even be a keeper because Lions are not going to get rid of him anytime soon.
No, they're not.
He's a captain and he's a vocal leader, and he's leading the league in touchdowns.
Good value there for next year for me, for sure. On what
you have him, Fields, Pickett. Like, you didn't draft him, right? But
I did draft him. I did draft him. I drafted
that was just
Pickett.
your Steelers.
Yeah, that was like my and then obviously taking their defense as well. He's actually been pretty solid for me when I've had to play him. I mean, he's got me like 18, 19, 20 something. I mean, he just played recently, helped me get a big
19,
dub.
18, yeah.
Helped me get a big dub.
He'll be
So,
fine. He'll be fine.
you know, I've been pretty lucky.
But 3 touchdown passes to 8 picks though. You don't like seeing
That's
that.
okay. He's a rookie. You know, he's learning the speed of the game. It's good. He's got a whole season under his belt, basically, of like learning everything. And now coming into this offseason, you know, the Steelers are going to do their thing and put some more weapons around him, hopefully. He's got
If
some, but
the season
needs an
ended right
it needs an
now,
O-line.
the season ended right now, who are your 3 keepers? Or do you not want to play that game?
I mean, I could play that game right now for sure.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's see. I'd have to look at it. I don't think
Because
I
I'm
can
constantly thinking every week, like mine changes every week. Like I had Zach Wilson as a lock for my keeper. I wish I would have picked up Mike White.
Yeah, right. Shit, right. I'd have to look at it.
And I can't keep him this year. He'd be a first round pick. He'd be a first round pick.
That sucks.
Yeah. I'll still draft him though, like way too early. It's all right.
I would probably have to look at it a little bit. I would have to see if I can keep Jefferson again. I don't think I can because it would be my second year in a row. That's why he's my first round pick.
That's not part of the rules.
So I don't think I can do that. So that might be a thing. I would say Justin Fields, Jamar Chase, and Jamal Williams would be my 3 keepers if the season were to end right now.
So Chase would be a first round pick.
Yep. Fields would be 6th, and Jamal
Williams
would be 11th.
Would be like way late. Yeah, that's solid, man. That's going to give you. I mean,
give me some
quarterback, running back, receiver.
It gives me some flex to hopefully fucking get a high draft pick where I can draft Justin Jefferson again.
Yeah, that's always the hard thing. It's like I had the second pick. I hate to switch to me real quick, but like I'm just doing.
You're fine. It's good.
Like I had second overall pick. I'm new to the league, and everyone was like, "He's taking Dalvin Cook." Like Zealy, he's taking a Viking, and I wasn't taking Dalvin Cook. I wasn't taking Dalvin Cook that day. But just thinking.
Who were you gonna take? Derrick Henry?
I was gonna take Josh Allen, and I wanted the MVP, who I thought was gonna win the MVP on my team. Like that's what the route I was going to. I don't think Duncan talked me out of it because we were at golf and I like kind of brought it up to him. I was like, "What would you do?" And he brought up Henry, and I think it was between Henry, Cook, and Allen, but I traded Dalvin for Eckler, who's been like my season turned around once I did that. So, you know, it just shows you like just making like, you know, I love Dalvin Cook. I love him, how the way the Vikings play, you know, how he plays in their system is just, you know, it's what it is, what it is. So like for you, if you have the first overall pick next year, for example, obviously you don't know who's going to be kept and stuff like that, but Justin Jefferson is definitely going to be an option, like even for number 1. You know, because I can't even think.
If I have the first overall pick next year,
yeah,
I'm taking him.
Yeah.
Mark my words right now. Yeah. If I pull my name out of that machine first, just
announce it.
I'm taking Justin Jefferson with the first overall pick next
year.
There
you go.
Call me crazy as fuck.
That's some hot soup right there.
That's the hot soup.
So if someone gets first overall pick, can we trade draft picks? Is that allowed?
We can't. That was actually literally leading into the hot soup. We've talked about it. We've done it. Probably can't do it in this league because people take advantage of it.
No. So I hated when you guys did like mid-season trades for next year, like Ryan had like 9 extra picks that one year.
Trading draft picks like day of or like draft pick for draft pick. Yeah. I could understand that. Yeah. But like for players and shit, it gets to
your first for their, their first and third or something. I don't see why that's why that wouldn't be allowed, but. That's also why I'm the newest one in the league, so I'm not gonna.
We did it, and a couple people just like were selling off their teams and like had 1 million picks within the first, 10 rounds or whatever it was. Their team was picked by like round 12 or something. So it's like, that's the name of the game. Like sell off your team, get everybody's draft picks for next year, and build a team for next year. But like. I don't know. There was a whole, we're in a certain look at where I'm at, dude. Like, look at this place. It's literally a circus. So it's like something happened. Circus. So they'll call me out for not knowing something happened, blah blah blah, like they always do. But something happened a couple of years ago where it became too much of a thing. But it's probably literally just too much for Eric to keep track of, and he doesn't want to do it. That's probably what it was.
Would you rather have? It doesn't matter. Don't look at next year or what happened this year. Would you rather have? top 3 pick or the last? So let's say the last part of the snake. So you go back around.
I would
What type
want to
of
be
guy
in
are
the.
you?
I would want to be in the top. I'd rather be in the top 3 than the bottom 3.
What's your ideal position?
Uh, 1
You don't
or
know
2.
keepers. So you would have took Jonathan Taylor this year and been absolutely.
No.
Yeah, you would have. Yes, you would have.
Eh.
Yes, you would have. Yes, you would have. If Easy didn't keep him, that would
See,
have been
that's what I
first off the
mean. If
board.
he wouldn't have been there. I probably
But
if I had the first pick this year, you would not have had Dalvin Cook.
I would have had McCaffrey then because Mike took McCaffrey.
That's fine. Because again,
Yeah.
what did I say I was trying to do with my team? Build as many people as I could that was there before. Dalvin Cook was on my team the last 3 years. I want him again. If I could get him again, I would have gotten him again. If I had the first pick, I was taking him all day.
So it's loyalty. You're very
But I
like
had a
me,
keeper that was
which
the
people
first.
make fun of me
Wasn't
when
even
I
going to be
draft
able
my
to get
guys.
that. I mean, I'm not making fun of you. Like, I don't make fun of you for that. I think it's cool.
Kenneth
Like,
Walker pick.
I mean, you were
Now
talking about
look
me
at it.
having the steal. Well, yeah, that's what I said. I was just gonna say you were talking about me having the steal the pick draft with Jamal. Like, I mean, that pick you made.
He's a first round pick for sure next year.
You didn't draft him though as a starter, clearly, because you had 3 running backs before that.
Which I knew he wasn't going to get. I knew he was having
But
the
he got his
hernia
shot.
surgery, and I knew that he was going to be the backup. So he had to prove himself, or hopefully
Yeah.
Penny was playing well, and then Penny got injured. Now it's Kenneth Walker in Seattle for at least next 3 to 4 years. So it's there you go. But
you had to do a whole thing with your, trying to build a team from scratch, basically.
which I think I've done a good job. I have a lot of depth. We're talking about my team again, but yeah.
Right.
So let's move on. Let's go on to previous week's matchups. Okay, for you. Let's look at your team and let's just pick out some of the weeks that I think made a huge difference for you. Not necessarily like close games, but it could be like a game that you look at that you're like, I was really worried about this week. I had too many guys on buys. I had injuries, but I pulled it out. Or it could be vice versa. Like you're like, oh, I got this week locked in, and then you lost because you were like, I remember when you were interviewing me,
which was like the second or third week, I think, right? Yeah.
You started out hot, didn't you?
So yeah, I started out first week 1-0 playing against Chris. I seem to always start the season out against Chris. It's weird. And then I played Rye Dog, and then I beat him. I was 2-0. And then week 3, I took a slacking. It's funny. You were saying like one week I thought I was going to win for sure, and I didn't. This would be the week. Would be week
79 points you scored. Oh, good thing that's Blake. Right? Yeah, Blake got lucky that week. He only put up 114.
This is one of the weeks I didn't have any faith in Jamal Williams. He got 24 on my bench. Damian Harris obviously had the best week of his fucking life on that week. I had to start my guys that got me there already. J.K. Dobbins, Antonio Gibson. They were those high draft picks that I had to start. Justin Jefferson played Detroit, only got 4 points. This was one matchup where I was like, okay, I'm going to have to show up and show out because he's got Josh Allen. And I'm scared of Travis Etienne and Aaron Jones going into it and Christian Kirk. So I was like, shit, I'm going to have to show out. And I didn't. But.
And then the next week you got blown out, but it wasn't any fault of your own. Corey's team just put up 172 on you.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Russell Wilson, I think, is in the free agency pool right now, if I'm not mistaken.
My opponent for this week picked him up.
Oh, look at that. Well, apparently this week was old Russell going off for, basically 32 points. But this is why his team was very scary in the beginning of the season, was because his running backs and his quarterbacks were very scary. Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, and then Russell Wilson. It's like, dude, you're getting guys that are putting up, at this time, 20 points plus basically every time, and then getting weird sprinkle in 16 points from Cortland Sutton, and it's just wrong place, wrong time for this matchup.
And then week 5, You had a you played this
ran
guy.
into a book.
You ran into a brick wall, so to say, with the newest member of the league. That was a massive win for me. That was week 5 because I think I started off 0. Was I 0-4 to start?
I think you were.
No, I was 1-3 going into that week. I beat Kevin week 2. So yeah, so this was big for me. This is what started my turnaround. Did I had this is this when I made the Eckler move?
You have Eckler on this team.
Yeah,
right now. Yeah.
this was
40
this was
points
my
almost. 36.
This was the first week I had Eckler. He put up 36 points for me. I put up 140. You only put up 92. So your team's been very inconsistent. They're very high scoring or very low scoring. It
so
looks
far,
like
yes.
Yes.
It's so far in the
Yes.
season, yep. And I'm riding out the Pittsburgh defense here. Like, they started out, I was like, shit. They're playing Cincinnati. Do I pick them up, like, for a spot start? Do I sit them week 1? And I was like, shit, whatever. I'm just going to let it ride. They throw up 31 points, and then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to ride them out because, like, they are a good defense. And, like, 8-2-5, and then they got -4 here, and it's like, all right. Corey still, I think, gives me shit about it because I'm just like riding it out, and it's like then they get 6, -7, bye week, 15, -4, and then they get 15. It's like I haven't wrote them out all year. I think I might have switched them out once or twice, but I mean, my ride or dies, man.
Your team.
You know,
I think the huge statement game for you was in week 6. You're playing your boy.
It's a big week.
Aforementioned KG in the kitchen. Very
Yep.
close matchup, very high scoring game, and you came out on the winning end of that. Because Kevin he only lost to me, I think. He was 4-1 going into this.
Yeah, it's just when he was in first place, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you put up 151, he put up 145. So he squeaked that one out, but that was a big one. That was a big one for you.
That was a big one. I was very scared that I was going to waste another 30-point performance from one of my 2 stud wide receivers that I kept, because when I played you, Justin Jefferson got 30 something, and then the next week, this week, Jamar Chase gets 32, and I was like, okay, we can't waste these. But this was the week, thank God, that Mike Gesicki finally showed up and had 24 points. He's got me so many goose eggs that, like, it makes this 24-point performance like that much more sweeter because, like, he's given me so many goose eggs this year. And
I mean, I'm probably averaging less than 2 points for my tight end position this year.
This was also the week where the J.K. Dobbins trade went down.
That was big. It's a big week for you.
It's a real big week for me. I had him in the lineup this week. He got 1 point. That was probably part of the reason why the game was so close. But, you know, we're chugging along here. I'm kind of chilling at this point. I don't know where I'm at in the record wise. I haven't really been paying attention, but I know I'm like, I don't know, we're at week 7, so I'm probably like 3.
I would say you're 4-3.
Yeah,
4-3,
somewhere in there, 3-3.
So if we're heading into week 7, so I would say you're at least 3-3, and then you play Mike. And
big matchup.
You get a little lucky.
He had the first round pick.
Yep. You get a little lucky.
Definitely got a little bit lucky. He had some guys not show up. You know, Lamar, CeeDee Lamb only got 10 each. Another 30-point performance from one of my stud wide receivers. So it's like I can't let that go to waste. Big goose egg from Michael Gallup against the Lions. Got hurt like the second play. That was huge. This has started the downfall of Damian Harris, of just never being able to touch the ball because the Stevenson dude. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, got him in the trade. It was like, sweet, first game in, got to start him. Like, JK's out. Got me, you know, basically projected value again. Probably should have started Gibson over him, or over Harris, obviously. But, you know, now it's like he was hurt. And at this point, I'm like playing the running back carousel type thing that I knew I was going to have to do based on what I was drafting. So it's like I kind of just obviously made the wrong choice. But this was a little bit of a coming out party week for Justin Fields for me. I think it was actually the first week I
actually started him.
I wouldn't say no. I started him more than that. I don't know what I was talking about. What did I have to do here? I just was fucking waiting for something to happen. Oh, this is who I did. This is what I was talking about. DJ Moore, I got in the trade from Rydog. I didn't start him. He got 20 points on my bench. So I would have been able to get more points. Obviously, I've had that happen a lot in wins where I should have more points. This game should have been one of them where it was a bigger win than it was. But we're just stringing them along here. Gasecki got 24 last week, then he got 5 now. So it's like we're just chugging along, man. This part of the season, it's like the dog days of summer. It's like August, man. Late August, you're playing baseball, you're getting down to it, beginning of September, and it's like every win is
Got
huge.
a battle.
And it's funny, this next week.
Every week matters.
This next week against your boy EZ, scary week, dude. Very scary week. I mean, I ended up blowing them out. It was projected to be a 1-point game. Ended up 170 to 120, basically. And
how much do you look at projections, honestly?
Are
you the guy that makes your decision on projections according to projections?
No. The only projections that I look at are like the injury designations and like the actual like I'll check at what they say. Like I won't look at the point values, like unless they're like not gonna play type deal. Like,
all right,
if someone's gonna get 10 and someone's gonna get 11, like their projections, that doesn't matter. I really look at matchups, and I look at a lot where people are playing. I try to play people that are playing at home more. I try to. So this is actually one of the weeks where I decided to stream a defense because I didn't like the Pittsburgh matchup against Philly. Turned out to be a huge decision maker. Picked up Washington against Indy. They got 12. Pittsburgh had -7. So that's a huge swing for me. And then obviously, I'm playing the running back roulette game again. Jamal Williams on my bench with 22 points. Damian Harris, 7. If I start him, I have everybody.
He's not playing tonight, by the way. He's not your team anymore. But he's not playing.
Who, Damian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been ruled out.
What's funny, I picked up stupid teabag myself. I picked up, I think it was McKenzie, thinking that he was a fucking running back, and he's designated as a wideout.
Talking about the Bills, McKenzie?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you think he was a running back?
I thought he got drafted and was a running back. Oops.
Yikes.
Teabag myself. It's all right. I mean, he's there for value if I need him.
Yeah. It's all good.
So obviously big week against EZ coming out. So it's 2 wins in a row in the middle of the season. Love that. Going up against Cuddy Sark, so you got to have a big game against him. You got to have a big game against him.
Why?
This is just because, I mean, when you're playing, well,
like, give me some background. Like, he's in last place, so like for my standpoint, it's
you just gotta have a big game against the person that's in last place because they don't care.
Lose.
Yeah, they don't care like what's going on. They're
gonna
they're gonna play anybody that's gonna get them as many points as they think that they can get, and it's like you just have to make sure you get at least some of your projected points. Like,
all right, it makes sense.
Like, I mean, obviously, I survived playing DJ Moore, and I mean, this just got me fucking 50, basically.
So
Justin Jefferson 25.
For the DJ Moore thing, I want to ask you this: like, would you play him more if Baker was a starter? Because Baker, when Baker plays, isn't DJ Moore had better stats?
I would.
It's kind of like the Henke with McLaren. It's like, I think Wentz is a lot better passer than Wenke is, but McLaren goes off when Henke's a quarterback. So it's one of those things, like chemistry thing.
I agree. And now it's going to be super hard for me moving forward. Well, at this point in the season, Jamar Chase is hurt, so it's like, okay, I still have 3 really good wide receivers, not 2 studs, but so like we're just kind of chugging along. I don't know why. See, Jamal Williams on my bench. Like, I'm looking back at this, and I'm like, why am I playing these people? And it's like, this is the fall of Clyde getting me fucking 0 points, 2 and 0 and blah blah. But we're still pulling out. Dubs thanks to the draft, the solid draft picks that we made. We made these draft picks because we knew this shit was going to happen sometimes. Our running backs are going to suck. I need everybody else to do good, and they did just good enough. This is one of those. This is one of those get me along weeks.
Solid draft
Give
picks
me a
mixed
long
with
weeks.
with the correct matchup and who you're playing that week. So we move on to week 10.
Right.
So we're getting into more current day, and we blew out
Another
the
big
bozo.
matchup.
Blew
Yeah,
out the
another
bozo.
big matchup. You always got to show up for the old bozo matchup. And
Because the one guy that will talk shit to you if he's
hello,
winning
if he beats you,
during
you'll
the
know
during
he
the
beats you.
day too. During the day. I
Yeah.
didn't really have that luxury for him to text me this year because I just absolutely bent him over the bench when I played him this year. Yeah, it was kind of bad. Like the point where he just didn't even want to respond back to my text. But that's neither here nor there. But you blew him out. You
And
had
what's
a big
funny,
showing from
yep.
Just Fields. There's your guy. And Jefferson.
So
There you go. There's your
the old
two
double
guys.
J's. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny. This is actually the first
Hilaire had
week
a
where I
0.
was actually very scared that I thought I was going to lose going into it because this is the first week in probably a very, very long time for those that know me that have been in this league. The 2 quarterback thing helped me so much in my other leagues, and I helped bring it to this league, being able to have a quarterback at the flex. This is like the first time in God knows how long that I haven't been able to start a quarterback at my flex because Kyler Murray was hurt. I could have, I guess, started Kenny Pickett, but at the time I wasn't very.
I'd say
I wasn't very behind what he was doing. This was the first time he got 19 points. So he would come on, he's coming off a bye. He had 7, 12, 10, 12, 12 before that. And I'm like, okay, I'll take my chances running 3 running backs. Not playing running back roulette this week. I'll just start the running backs that I have to start. The guys that are on buys can't play, and the guys that are hurt aren't playing. I'm just going to start my 3 running backs, and I'm going to roll it out there. And it worked only because I had a guy get 43 and 35 because one of them got 0.
Just so you know, I'm one of the main guys that I've probably started a running back in my flex more often than a quarterback this year. Because
I mean,
look
it
at
all
my running
depends on how
backs.
you built your team. Yeah, your running back. See, that's what I mean. So you can do that because they're all good, really RB1s for the. So
It gets hard when you know you have 2 really good guys that are on your bench every week. That's
mine are like
gonna
flex guys. Like
yeah.
Gibson and Jamal Williams and Hilaire. They all share time. Like it's Jamal Williams versus DeAndre Swift this week, and I got the better of the end of the deal. Who he didn't. I mean, they both had a touchdown, but my guy got the bulk of the carries.
And then in week 11, you run into the absolute buzzsaw that we like to call the Wizard, and that
The
is the
old neighbor
downwire.
Al.
Yeah, so no, the neighbor Al.
If you
I
listen to my
guess
podcast with him,
Will
you know where that came from in my head. You know why that is what it is now.
Mr. Wilson.
It's a
But
mix of
anyway,
home improvement and it's a mix of angels in the outfield. Just listen to my podcast with Duncan.
that's my favorite movie of all time. I can say every word
There you
to
go.
the Angels in the Outfield. I've
Well, then
probably
you'll
seen it
know the part I'm talking
1,000.
about, where he's on
Just
the
call me
fucking
Al.
pole. There you go. Just
No
call
one can
me
hear
Al.
me or see me but you. But me?
It's mixed
Why
that
me?
part with literally Tim Allen walking to the fence and he's peeping over. Those 2
Don't see his
scenes are
chin.
where neighbor Al comes from for Duncan.
Yeah, but talk about that week. Were you expecting an L?
So, no, I wasn't expecting to lose. I thought that I had some pretty good matchups, and I thought that Jefferson was obviously going to go off, and figured DJ Moore was going to have a chance to be in a little bit of a shootout against Baltimore, and I figured at least DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson would at least have gotten me 10 to 20 each, and this game would have been a whole different ball game. But I mean, basically, everybody else kind of did what they needed to, plus some. Besides my defense, I could have probably streamed a defense. But going back to what we were talking about, my loyalty strategy, I guess, was they played Cincinnati already this year. In Cincinnati, I think, in the beginning of the season. Yeah, at Cincinnati, their first game, and they put up 31 points. So now they get Cincinnati at home, and since it hasn't been playing that well, and of course they throw up -4, so like that was that one on the chin, but like, gotta let it ride. It's always tough when you're going up against Duncan.
Oh, it is, and I'm
You
glad I
know,
don't have to play him again until hopefully the playoffs. And that brings us to the most recent week. Big win from your boy. So you're 2-0 against your boy, C. Raj. I feel bad for C. Raj. Really nice guy. I think his team's solid. He's just his matchups, kind of like Corey this year. They just ran into the wrong people at the wrong time.
yeah, this one I feel like he probably should have. He probably deserved the win based on the decisions that I made to leave DJ Moore and Hayden Hurst off my lineup and leave him on the bench. He should have beat me, but again, Gallup kind of finally showed up. Chris Godwin, I think, had the best game of his career, not career, but of season this year. So you get guys that are close to 30 points. It's like it should be a runaway victory, and I'm sitting here on tweaking out, praying for Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh defense to combine for 19 points, and it's like that game's going on and Pickett's got like 6 and I'm like up by like 3. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was getting updates that Michael Pittman's in the red zone in one of my other leagues. Sorry, Corey, had to slide it in here somewhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they
ESPN,
just
yeah.
scored. And yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, here we go. They just scored. They're already back. And it's like, but again, we were able to pull out a strong dub, a good 150 point performance. It sucks to lose when you score close to 150. Obviously, see Raj, that sucks. Um, and we're chugging right along. And I got 2 huge, 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 huge playoff implicated matchups moving forward. It always seems that I play Rye Dog at the end of the season when we're both playing for a playoff spot. He always beats me. So like, here's another week where I'm expecting to lose, and it's funny too. I've had Justin Herbert in one of my leagues, been a dud all year, and of course he's going to play Las Vegas this week and go off for 29 points, 30 points. But
Yeah,
uh
I'm pretty invested in your guys' matchup. I mean, I probably
yeah,
can't
this is
catch you guys, but
I mean, you can't.
seating
That's the thing.
wise,
So it's like you can't. Well, maybe not record, maybe,
yeah,
but
if you
like
go 8-6, if you lose
that's
the
what I
next,
mean.
if you
And
or
I play
Ryan lose
Blake
the
next
next,
week. So the following, yeah, I
that's
play Blake
huge.
the
I
next.
want you to beat
That's what I
Blake though.
mean.
Yeah,
My 2 weeks are huge
I don't care. I don't care
moving
like
forward.
what place I get in as long as I make the playoffs. You know?
Same. All I want is to be in the top. I don't care where I'm at. I don't like to have the bye, really. Preferably, I don't like the bye. I feel like it's a jinx in this league, but
That's what Easy was
it
saying.
is
He's
what
like
it is.
nobody that finished in first place in the regular season
Has
has won the
ever won.
championship.
They've never won.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I don't want that. So looking at this matchup, I feel like I'm going into the same way I'm feeling like I did when I played against Duncan. Like I got a shot. Obviously, Rye Dog's always got good teams. He's always in the mix. He's always right there. He's always fighting for the top spot, playoff spot. He's always there. And it's like you guys got to show up. It's like if I can get Jamar Chase is coming back this week, so if I can, I need something for like Jefferson and Chase have each been 30 plus points for sure. Like this year, I just not on the same week. I could love and need them to do something like that. I need them to put together 25 together on the same week. Solid running games. I got good matchups in my running games. I feel like I know the Giants are pretty good at stopping the run, but like Gibson will get his touches. Hopefully he'll find the end zone. I got some good juju going into this week. We got Trevor Lawrence playing against the Lions in Detroit. I think that's going to be a huge matchup for me, obviously, because he's also got Zay Jones, who's a wide out in that game. So like, if Detroit can break some hearts and shut down their offense, that will play a huge, huge role in a splash-tastic victory this week, baby.
I mean, yeah, you need it, and I hope you go on and beat Blake in week 14.
Yeah, it's a little tough for me. I got some buys that week, and it's
No
tough.
excuses.
I
No
know, I know,
excuses.
I know. I'm already looking at it. I can just fill in. Fields will be on a buy, but I can put in Kyler. Gibson will be on a buy, but I can put in. Yeah, see, fuck, I'm fucked. I'm a running back.
Make some moves, man.
Well, I thought he was. That's what I mean. I thought McKenzie was a running back, so I was like, shit, he's not a running back. It's like,
McKenzie tore up the
ooh.
Lions on Thanksgiving. What are you
That's
talking about?
why I picked him up. He has a fucking wide receiver, though. I thought he was a fucking running back. Pick up Melvin Gordon.
So, what's your prediction for your final 2 weeks? What's your record going to be for
My
those
record
2
in the
weeks?
final 2 weeks, I'm gonna predict 1-1. I'm gonna lose to Ryan. I'm gonna beat Blake.
What place do you come in?
Or I'm gonna beat Ryan and I'm gonna lose Blake.
What place do you come in?
Okay. We'll just go right into it. The old top 6.
Because you're already a lock for the playoffs.
No, I'm not.
You're
No. I gotta win one of these two for sure. No one's locked in yet. Me and Duncan have to win. I think me, Duncan, and Rye Dog.
you're a
If we
lock.
win, whoever wins out of me and are in. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we gotta win still. But my final 6, in no particular order,
Put
is
it in
gonna
order.
be. Nah, we don't.
Put you in order.
Okay. I'll put me in order. So I'm gonna go.
What place do you come
Rye
in?
Dog, Mike Malinchek, and then myself. Duncan, Blake Smith, and other than the electric, Eric Ely.
So you don't think Kevin gets in? What's his record?
I don't. He's there. I don't know if he can put it. I think he's gonna have something's gonna happen next 2 weeks. It always seems to happen that way for him. Maybe he'll break the trend.
Yeah, he
So
plays
maybe
me.
that's what I mean. So maybe he'll break the trend and he'll get in. But I just don't know if it's recuperated year yet. I don't know if it's his time yet. He hasn't been in the kitchen enough yet this year.
Do you think
He failed
Corey
on the
beats him this
podcast.
week? Does
No,
Corey beat him this
but
week?
I think you beat him next week.
But if you beat Blake, and he might get in because you get more points than Blake currently. But anything can happen.
Maybe Corey does. That's what I mean. Maybe Corey pulls off a shocker. Anything's
All right.
possible.
Well, that's your top 6. We have Duncan, Rydog, you, Mike, Blake, and then me. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 currently. So number 5 is left out, and that brings us to your betting lock of the week. I can't believe you don't like this segment. Are you a gambler?
I love this. I do like this segment. Other people like the
Eric Gordon
predictions. They like the predictions better. I know other people just, I got some fans that chime in and listen, and they're like, they mainly talk about everybody's
Have you been
predictions.
keeping a record on that, on who was actually right? Because I know I was right.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually, before I actually got to spend some time and look that up today based on the dates. So when I do these recordings, it sets the date on it. So I went back and I looked at the date and everything, and then I went through and I wrote them all down. So I wanted to give a little rundown on that. Starting back at the first episode, Eric Gordon, his lock of the week was Kansas City -6.5. Didn't happen. Chris Rogers, lock of the week, Tennessee -2. Push. They won by 2. Good pick. Eric Ely, his lock of the week was the Lions over, and it was way over. It was 50, I think, and it was like
Seattle, right?
Yeah. The over under was 50, and it went to like 65, I think.
It was over 50 in the first half.
5, I think it was like 40 or something, wasn't it? Or 30 something.
It was
super
low.
High.
Yeah.
Also, we are checking in on the $100 bet with Corey that Easy has better record than Corey. Oh, that's coming down to it.
That's coming down easy this week. I know.
Oh,
it's a little bittersweet.
Has a better
this
record
week.
than Corey.
all needs to happen is Easy needs to win one more game, or Corey needs to lose one game.
Yep. Dang. Okay. So currently we are 1-1-1 on the year as a league for lock of the week. Then we move forward to Easy's lock of the week, where he had the 49ers -5.5. They got their fucking ass week. So now we are 1-2-1. Corey picked the Michigan Wolverines to beat Michigan State by 21.5, and we have a second win of the year as they won by
Doesn't matter. Just
fucking
keep going. Just keep
20.
going.
Yeah, it was.
Just keep going. Because, all right.
They
So
won by
2-1 and
21.
1.
Yeah, whatever it was.
No, 2-1 and
Yep,
2. No, 2-2 and 1.
Yep, 2-2 and 1. So now we're moving on to Duncan, who had the New York Jets money line against the New England Patriots. They lost 10-3.
2-3 and 1.
2-3 and 1. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving right ahead to your boy G's hashtag I'm with Bozo lock of the week. Got to do a little bit of reconnaissance work on this. So I'm in this thing. It's a $200 pot, and you put it in the beginning of the season, you get 1,000 shares. Been in it all season. I'm still in it. I'm in like 15th place though, but I'm still in it. So I've been paying attention a lot to like matchups and where people are playing and like what's going on. And I feel like I'm doing a little bit better on this side of things than I have been in recent years, and I think this is helping. But looking at this week, there's nothing that stands out, maybe besides like the Cleveland -7 on the road at Houston with Deshaun Watson coming back. That's a pretty solid one. I'm also a pretty big fan of Miami getting 4 points on the road at San Francisco with that high-powered offense that they have. If they get in the end zone 2 or 3 times real quick, that could be lights out real quick. But neither of those are what I'm going with. Your boy is going with the Los Angeles Chargers on the road +1 point against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's your lock. So you're very confident in that.
I'm very confident in the Chargers getting
Seattle
1
and put up
point.
40 points.
That's all right.
It's going to be high scoring. You may take the over in that game.
All right. That's all right.
That's cool. I respect it. I respect it.
2 sets of defenses.
I respect it. So that's your lock. Just for the hell of it.
So the bottom feeders.
Hold on. Just
I
for the
didn't
hell
get
of
to say
it.
my. Well.
Hey, I'm not done.
I'm in.
Hey.
I'm in.
I thought I was the host.
You are the host.
I'm gonna throw because I'm the host. I'm gonna ask you this question.
Ooh, hot soup.
Who wins Saturday and what's the score? Purdue versus Michigan. I'm asking this on my podcast right after this with my guess.
So, I don't know if you guys have heard yet, but Mozzie Smith is like getting charged with.
He likes to carry guns around. He likes to carry guns around and be a criminal.
Don't know if you heard about that.
Oh,
Big blow.
Team captain.
They still should be okay. Still should be okay, but it's not the look you want.
Go play
into a big game like this. Purdue's got a shot. Okay, they got a good. They got a couple good high-powered offensive players, but I'm gonna go with Michigan 28-16.
What's the spread currently?
I don't know.
I got you. Purdue versus Michigan spread.
I wonder if Corey's going. I know he's not a Michigan fan, but he's a big Purdue fan.
Is he?
Yeah, oh yeah. Corey's
Why?
Huge Boilermaker fan.
Did he go there?
No, I don't know. He didn't go there, but he just growing up, he was always a fan. I don't know if I ever asked him why. I should have asked him why.
The spread's 17. I might take.
I'm right there.
Man.
I'm right there.
I'm right in that
ballpark. I'm right up in that ballpark.
I'm probably taking +17.
What, you're gonna take the Spoilermakers?
I'm taking with the points. I'm a big
alert.
I'm a big take the points guy. You know, like somebody like do money line, you're winning more money if they win. I'm like, and then they lose by 2 and I don't get any money. You know, come on.
Or
no
they
smart
lose
betting
by 10 like they're supposed to, and you had no shot at winning any money anyways.
They lose by 10, I win my bet because they're getting 17. Hello.
Oh no, okay, yeah. That's what I mean. If you take the spread, take the money line, and it's like
I always take the spread.
Yeah. Money lines are only good, I feel like, if you're betting parlays.
And then since we're talking about Michigan, we got to talk about your 3 bottom feeders of the year.
The old bottom feeders. Well,
All right. So as of right now, you have KG, you have Igor, you have Easy, Corey, C-Raj, and Sarks to pick from.
and the decision was pretty easy, as two of them are down there. We got Sarko, got Corey, and then this one was tough, but
Doing
I
it.
love you, brother,
He's
and I
doing it.
know I do into
He's
the
doing
league,
it.
but
He's
C-Raj.
doing it. What a
C-Raj.
bummer. What a bummer. What a
Yeah.
what a. It's crazy too because I got to give those three you just named like some credit. Their point totals, they should be in third place, all of them, if you're
Right.
going by points.
And I can't remember if we changed. I think we had a petition to vote. See, again, there's so much shit that changes. I can't keep up all the time.
No, it's matchups, man. It shouldn't matter.
Well, the
Sorry.
last spot of the league, or sorry, the last spot of playoffs, I think was
No,
supposed to go to
hard
the
no.
person with the most points out of that shit. I can't remember if we ever
Hard
voted
no.
on that. We
Hard
probably did, and I
no.
probably voted against it because I probably would do that, but who knows? They'll let me know in the chat like they always do, or Eric will.
All right, so you picked the bottom three that are currently 10, 11, 12. I got to ask you something. Look at this. Do you feel cool just going going back home with your $76 in waiver budget in your pocket?
I mean, it's kind of a blessing, I guess, because I haven't had to. I mean, yeah, looking back, hindsight's, I guess, 2020. I could have made some moves prior, and spent some more money in previous weeks, but like being blessed mainly with the injury bug not being that big of a thing, I feel like I didn't have to really make too many crucial moves to where I had to spend an absorbent amount of money on anybody to get anybody, and it was like, I mean,
And plus, if it comes down to, like you
people
said,
are so quick
you've been playing.
to spend all their money on players, and it's like that guy's good for 1 week and then he's out and then he's hurt and then he's getting 2 points, 0 points. It's like I like to try to be meticulous with that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm in
you have
third place, so it's kind
$76.
of working, but I
I
still
mean,
I'm planning for the playoff. I might have to make moves in the playoffs, so it's like I need money to be. I want to be able to have cheddar to be able to make moves that could screw other people over in the playoffs that they need a quarterback, and I picked them all up, and now you don't have one. It's like, or something, or a running back, whatever. Something happens, someone does really good, and he's got a great matchup next week, and it's like, ooh, I got more money than everybody else left in the playoffs. Like, so it could be a good
and
thing still
yeah,
with
it
having a
could.
big
And
budget left.
you also have the least amount of moves, so you've literally
No surprise there.
you really built from the draft, which is
Mm-hmm.
cool. I mean, I've got nothing against it. Like I said, I'm new to the league. I felt like it'd be weird if I didn't spend my money. I spent my money on three guys that are no longer on my roster. But
See?
I picked
See?
him up. I picked
That's
him up so no one else could at that situation. But Zach Wilson
see, and
that's a bummer.
there's a lot. I've never been a part of a league that does that more, where it's like, oh, I already have two quarterbacks and one on my bench, but like, oh, I could pick one up, and this person has two guys on a bye. He's not going to be able to start anyone. Oops. I mean, it's cool. It's just whatever. I've just never really seen it that much, like I have this year.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
damn. I've only
true.
made 8. Wow, no shit.
I
That's
mean,
right, baby.
you could be like Duncan and Easy and make 56. Isn't that weird? They both have 56 moves. That's a coincidence, huh?
Yeah. So I did
The
misspeak earlier.
Yep.
There is one person that already has guaranteed playoff spot. That is Duncan. He has an asterisk next to his name. That means he has a confirmed playoff spot.
Shout out to Duncan.
One of us,
I played against
2
him in
or
golf
3,
on
will have
Tuesday.
one next week, I think. Yeah, that's sweet. Where's that at?
It's in Livonia, 8 Mile in Farmington.
I think that. Okay, I tell you, is that the thing? Yeah, I think
It's called Players.
Kevin's coming up.
Yeah,
I think he ran it
December.
out. Yeah.
I can't be there because I wrestle
18th.
that day. So yeah,
Oh,
I wrestle, so I will not be there, unfortunately.
back in action.
Back in action. Yeah, but yeah, as we wrap up here, you have a decision to make on
So that's
who
funny.
you want to interview next week.
That's funny because I did a lot. This is probably the most show prep I've done this year for the whole show this week. And this is actually one thing I didn't even think about.
Ooh.
But I don't have to think about it because I know this person totally wants to get on here. He's got a lot to say. He always has a lot to say. And he's currently in the midst, if my computer would work here, he's currently in the midst of a very, very solid winning streak here. We are going to bring on one and only Balake Smith.
He's going to talk about the IR spots.
Yeah, yep, definitely. And I didn't base on that too much, and I'm glad he kind of brought that to my attention. But I want to get some insight into his mind on how he's able to put together this winning streak, what he's done. You know, obviously I could do some research and work and just look at it, but I want to figure out the nooks and crannies on why he made some moves made. Obviously everything takes a risk in this league, so it's like he's probably taking some risks on some guys and some chances and starting people and up, and it's like it's obviously out now. I mean, obviously he won 6, so it's funny. He won 6 in a row. He was 1-5 at one point, and he was definitely on people's list here in the beginning of the season for bottom feeders.
Wait, I'm not gonna lie. So when the whole waiver thing got brought up, I texted Easy and I go, "Who do you think is like? What's this even about?" He goes, "Who do you think it is?" I was like, "I think it's Blake," and I go, "Why does he even care? He's not making the playoffs." And now, hey, I eat my words.
Put the hex on him. Yeah, eat your words. Yeah,
I ate my words.
Yeah, now you're rooting for me to beat him up next week.
I am. I'm playing against my buddy this week, which is like kind of like bittersweet because we have a bet with Corey, and then I need you to take care of Blake next week. Who's Blake play this week? He plays Mike, and they're buddies. I've known Blake and Mike a very long time.
That's another big fan. I was gonna say fantasy implications, playoff implications. Also, I didn't touch base on this last week or last time I did this. I might have brought it up last time, but the first time we're bringing it up again, the old blowout of the week. Yahoo gives this to us.
Looking at it right now.
I only am saying it because he was on the show last time, but I probably say it every time, even if it wasn't him. Duncan with a 170.22 victory over Cuddy Sark 136.72. That was a plus 42.50 margin. That's the biggest blowout of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Presented by the Bat.
He probably has a lot of those. He probably has a lot of those this year. But yeah, all right, man. As we wrap up, it's your show, man. You get what do you got? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to add before we close this down?
Well, I know it's a bit of a shit show with being able to get everybody on with people not watching it and not knowing they're on, not letting me know when they can get in. So I know it is what it is. I will try to still get everybody on. I'm doing a playoff thing. So if you make the playoffs, you're going to be on. And then I guess if you don't make the playoffs and you haven't been on yet, I can Blake will be one of them. And he could make the playoffs still, and then next week, obviously he can get someone on, and then we can just kind of go from there. Maybe do like an end of the season, like fucking something or other with Igor, and if somebody wasn't on, I kind of I want to get everybody's feels on their team and the season and everything for the year. So I definitely want everybody to get on, regardless of how they get on. But I guess it's up to them if they ultimately want to be on. You want to be like Ride Dog and just tell me you're busy for 7 days in a row and you can't do it. Like, hey, more power.
That guy must have fucking busy life, man. I would love to hear what that guy does for 7 straight days.
I hope it was.
He cannot get on our podcast.
Yeah, I hope
everything's good.
I mean, I
Like,
hope everything's good
yeah,
and it's not like
mentally
something
and all that.
tragic.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
so
no,
too.
not mentally, but just like I hope something's not like
Okay.
something happened. He's good. He's good mentally, but I'm saying I hope he's not something tragic happened where something where he literally has to be in like the hospital with someone or
Yeah.
something happened. Or I just
That's true.
it is
That's
what it
true.
is. I
I
hit him
take
up.
back part of
He
what I
never.
said.
So basically, if the person doesn't hit me up, that the person calls out in like a week, I'll then hit him up and be like, hey, like you obviously didn't watch the podcast. You're the one that got called out. When can you go? Normally they're like, hey, I can do this day. All right, tight. He was just like, hey, I can't do it at all this week. Just skip me. And I was like, oh shit. All right, well, who would you pick? And he was like, you. And I'm like, oh shit. All right. So again, if you guys don't want to be on, no worries. It doesn't matter. I just want to get everybody on because I want to know what everybody thinks about their team and how the league's going. And I want everybody's feedback. I want everybody to have a platform to be able to voice their opinion on the league and how you feel. We have a group chat, but people don't take that as serious as some other shit. So it's a good place to be able to bring people in to talk about their feelings in fantasy football. That's why I keep doing it. I love doing it.
No, it's true. Like for my podcast, like I got the idea from you. I'll admit that, and but I wanted to bring something to my podcast that like
Yours is better than mine. I'll give you that.
I
You got signs and stuff.
like
You got to teach me
I
how to
like
do
want,
that.
I wanted to bring something to my podcast that was like fun for everybody, and like when I'm scheduling, I always I'm scheduling. Hey man, like here's my schedule. What works for you? And they're like, dude, Thursday at 8, boom. That's what I'm doing after this. And it's like, cool.
Yeah,
And now
see,
I'm
I
bringing
need to
multiple.
start doing
Now I'm
that.
bringing multiple guests on, so I got to get them like week in advance. Like, and I already sent them the
Yeah, I
meeting
did that
invite
last
a
year.
week in advance and the link and all that. And for me, it's like every time I have these guys on, they're like, dude, I like after it's done, after we done recording, and I stop recording. I was like, dude, that was awesome. They're like, that was incredible. I was so nervous to be on a podcast. I didn't know what you were gonna
Yeah.
ask. Like he goes, and you just make it flow, and they
Just like
they
we're
talk about
talking.
stuff that they were.
Just having a
Yes,
conversation. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
literally all I try and do is just for an
Same.
hour a week just to talk about sports and just laugh.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
I feel you there, buddy. Well, I just want to say thank you for having me back on. Hopefully I'm back on here again talking some playoff matchups. Even if I'm not,
Yeah.
even if I'm not there, I'm always good for as a moderator. You're going to be in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
definitely.
So if you
So
need,
yeah, that would be a thing too. If I'm in the playoffs and we need someone to do it, if I make the playoffs and I don't want to host it, that'd be great to have you on back on. I obviously would love to have you do it. I appreciate you doing this. Obviously, I don't think you're gonna leave the league ever again. But
I didn't
moving
leave the league in the first
forward,
time.
obviously we'll just probably true. You kind of got booted. We'll obviously have you be hosting my episodes when moving forward. So I appreciate it. I'll always be chiming into your podcast. Drop your handle real quick for all the followers.
Electric Ely on YouTube, man. Go search Electric Ely. You'll find every podcast I've recorded. You will see all my vlogs. You will see my eating videos. You will see my wrestling matches.
Your dad came into town. I saw
Yeah,
that.
that was
Cool.
that was a few weeks ago. We played Red Run. We played a lot of golf.
That's
But it
cool,
was
man.
fun.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Vlogs are cool, bro. It's tight.
yeah.
All right, bro. I appreciate you. You have a great rest of your night.
All right, buddy.
We'll see you soon.
Later.